I'm Dan Galusha and welcome to another edition of Shoot and Plink. Today we're going to be showing another Gamo product, and this time it's going to be a rifle. In fact, one that's a little bit different. It's a break barrel that actually has a 10-shot magazine. Here it is right here. It's called the Swarm. It's a Maxxim Swarm, and this is quite a gun, isn't it? I mean, before I've talked about that Mass Effect thing. This looks like the one that they got a character called Garrus. He's got a sniper rifle. Doesn't that look like something from that, or even something from Star Wars? It's quite a gadget. It'll supposedly shoot over 1,300 feet per second. Like I said, it's a break barrel, and it does have a 10-clip magazine right here. And I'm going to be using the Gamo match pellets. Loading those up. I've already sighted this scope in. I'm very impressed with this scope. In fact, I'd like to have one of these on my Henry rifle if they'd had them available separately. It has a cover on it. Now, this is one of the things I did. When I mounted this, there's a little pin in here that will fasten in so that the scope won't move back and forth as you shoot it, because you know you're doing a lot of carrying on with a break barrel because you're bringing it down. But this right here, the cover, wouldn't come off. It was hitting here. So I loosened this up in here, and then what happened is I didn't get it quite back on, and my adjustment for sighting in was terrible, so I had to shoot quite a few shots, and I realized, you know, I've got this thing set at an angle and I'm moving it this way instead of the way I'm supposed to be. Well, now I can remove this by taking it off like this and off of here. It's still pretty tight, as you can see. There, it comes off like that. But before, I couldn't get it off at all. And like I said, it's a cover. It's a see-through cover, just in case you want to use it that way. But if you're shooting for accuracy, I always say take it off, because there is just a little bit of diversion to it, and you'll get a much clearer shot inside of an open scope like that without this. As I said, it does have a 10-shot magazine right here. You push on this and you pull it out right there. And there's a little groove. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little groove right up here that this little sliding area fits into, so that you always get it in the right direction. And when you're loading them, there's only one way to load it, and that's from this side. They're very simple to load. In fact, we're going to be shooting 10 shots at a target. And I'll show you real quick how to load this. We won't go through the whole thing because it takes a little bit. You want to make sure that you get it in the right direction, because you can poke them in the wrong direction on this particular magazine. You just rotate it. You drop right in like that. Just stick them in like that. I've got 3 of them in there right now. And then, that's why I'm glad I showed you here too. You notice that right up here, I'll bring it around here. This right here, there's a little number on here. It tells you how many shots you got left. I loaded 3, it tells you 3. That makes it real nice. And then there's this little indicator right here pops up when it's empty. But even if this thing says it's empty, don't necessarily believe it. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much correct. But always check to make sure that it's loaded. Now you have a safety, and the safety is down here. It's this trigger right here. So I've got a second trigger. You may have been wondering, what on earth's that second trigger for? Well, that's the safety. You pull it like this, you cannot pull that trigger. So you pull this, keep the safety on, and then push it forward when you go to shoot. Do not take it off until you are ready to shoot. In order to fire this, you have to, of course, it's a break barrel, and you bring it all the way down, and I'm not going to do it right now, I don't have my magazine in it, but you bring it all the way down, and then as you bring it back here and up, and then you load around. In fact, I'll show you right now how to do that. Make sure the safety's on. Take this, there's only 3 shots in it anyway. Make sure you're putting it in the right way, line up the little notch. Hear the click, it's ready to go. Now you're ready to load around, bring it down like this, back up. We now have a round loaded, but we've got our safety on. So remember that, there's a round already loaded in here. And I'm going to have to load 10 rounds in here, and then we're going to go shoot, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what we did. Hopefully I'm going to hit it in the bullseye quite a bit, because I finally got the thing pretty much sighted in. So let me load this back up, and we're going to go shoot, and we're going to come back. Once again, we were shooting at the Gamo pellet trap, which you may have seen down here, and we were shooting at somewhere between 20-25 yards at this, so that gives you an idea of the distance that I was shooting. And I imagine you could see on camera that it wasn't all that bad. I mean, everything but a couple of them up here hit right in that white bullseye area, the 9 and the 10 point area, as you can well see, and like I said, as you already seen on camera, so there's not much to say about that. By the way, these are the Gamo targets too. They come with it, and I see I had 2 of them stuck together, so I got 2 identicals. Unfortunately, now I've lost one of my other targets. They come 100 in a package. Oh, right here, there they are. 100 targets in a package. They're kind of a flimsy type cardboard type thing, and that fits right into that Gamo pellet trap, and they work real nice, they really do. And another thing you could do with these, because they're just the same size, you have these shoot and see type targets. Just take one of those and paste it right over the top of it, and you've got another one ready to go, and it's a shoot and see besides. So you know, that works too. And then you're using this double time rather than just once and put it into recycling. Or another thing you can do is to make notes on it, so that it can kind of tell you which firearm you used, any information you want, what yardage, what have you, and that can help you down the line. At least it does me, because if I'm writing one of my shoot and plink columns, I want to have some information about that. I almost call it a shoot and see column. It's not that. It's shoot and plink. I think I'd remember my own column's name, wouldn't you? Well, anyway, that's what you can do with that. Like I said, this is a very nice rifle. I've always wanted a break barrel, and to have a scope like this, the scope is, well, in fact, I'm going to take this off here and show you. It takes a little while. It's threaded on. It's got good metal body. This is not a plastic scope. This is a very good quality scope. It has very good clicks. I mean, they click in hard so that they're not going off like some of your cheaper scopes that you see on your air guns. I'm not going to do it because I've already done it, but this, you can see, it's one that you can do with your thumb, which, that's real nice. You don't have to have an extra screwdriver or any sort of an extra tool with you or anything to adjust it. You just do it that way, and it's about 1/4 inch per click, and I was having to vary it back and forth. I don't really know if it was that or not, but whatever it was, I finally got it in. But as I said, I kind of messed the thing up myself by having the scope turned cockeyed, but I wanted that because I wanted it so I could get this off. But as I said, it's got a 10-shot magazine. You know, how many air guns, a break barrel, are you going to find where you're going to be able to shoot 10 shots? Break barrel, normally you think, okay, break it open, load one, further back, and shoot it. That's the way it is, right? Well, not with this one. Like I said, this is the Swarm, as they call it, and it also has what they call a whisper quiet barrel. I don't know what it would sound like without the whisper quiet. Evidently a little bit louder. You know, but it wasn't all that bad. You could hear the way that it sounded. And would I recommend this? Yes, it's a very well built air gun. There's no doubt about it, and it's got good down in here to the shoulder. It's really one of these that you could pick up, and you don't need to have a stand if you don't want to. You could probably plink real easy with it just like this, looking right down the scope. And as I said, it's a see-through type cap, so you can even shoot that way. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.